You know what time it is. 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 Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. I am here with two of my favorites. Yes, we're here with Sean and here with Jay. We're going to give you guys, I guess, a nice rendition and breakdown of Ready to Love a little bit earlier than usual because we'll be at our show tonight, isn't it? So
that's it.
Yeah.
Who's coming out tonight? Come on. It's finna be lit.
It's going to be a great night, isn't it?
It's going to be a great night. So y'all better get y'all tickets if you haven't already. We're going to see y'all there. Bring your Sunday's best on a Saturday night.
Yes, guys, listen, we're going to be live later on today. We're going to be in Atlanta, and we're going to be doing a live panel show. And many of you guys have been asking me the topic, and the topic we'll be talking about is effective communication. And one of the questions I'm going to be asking is, do men and women communicate differently? I want to ask that question. I know it's going to set some people alight. I know some people are going to have some answers. You have some answers for that, Sean?
Yeah, we definitely we're gonna dive into that for sure. Absolutely.
So quick thought. Do you think we communicate differently?
That's a good question.
Well, you're gonna have to come to the show to figure that out. We ain't gonna give it all up tonight.
No, we're giving it up. Just a quick answer.
Yeah. You know, just a little. Just a little.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge. Last night's episode of Ready to Love showed us that men and women kind of communicate a little different, right?
There's a lot of men and men communicating, and they still got this stuff wrong. So I'm like, I think it's just men.
Oh, so we the problem. So we the problem, and y'all got it together. That's nothing new, right?
Gotcha.
That's nothing new. Sounds about right.
Got you, Mitch.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So listen.
Communicate fine.
Hey, listen. Listen. That's why you need to come to the show. If you can't make it to the show in Atlanta, grab yourself a stream ticket as well, because we definitely want to host you guys and definitely want to see you at the show as well. So if you can't make it to the Atlanta show physically, grab yourself a stream ticket as well, okay, and watch live from the comfort of your seating like we do as well. So we're going to talk about Ready to Love, and we're going to weave that in, and we're going to weave that in about effective communication as well. But Sean, you said something. You said this show, Ready to Love, it showed you a little bit about effective communication. Tell us a little bit more why.
Oh, yeah. We seen a couple of our faves, you know. Good brother Samson, Mr. Sampson, and Seaway calls. And Seaway's en route, guys. She is at Atlanta Hartsfield. So she will be here in the building later this afternoon. But, yeah, Mr. Sampson, bro, we calling you to the front of the room today. You're getting called to the front of the room today, brother Sampson. Right to the front, brother. You was moving mad. Don't we think Samson was moving a little mad, guys? Come on, we watched the episode last night. Samson, we love you, but we got to be honest with you, bro. That. I'm struggling.
Did you agree?
Okay, so this is where we do agree. Because we both going against a man. This is where we agree. No. Brother was moving all the way mad. I was like, are we serious right now? Are we serious right now? But it was a lot of movements that was being placed around last night's episode. So let's get into it.
Yeah, listen, Samson, I love you, but you was moving absolutely mad. I can't lie to you. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was going to be about Shareese, but he definitely was moving mad. I mean, he wasn't the only one, but I just think to myself, out of all of them, Samson was, we're calling him Mr. Sampson now as well, isn't it? That's his new name.
Mr. Sampson. That's
yeah,
how he's gonna be
Mr. Sampson. Like Mr. Anderson. Mr.
Sampson.
Sampson.
As we rip into him, we're gonna put some respect on your name, though, bro.
Yeah.
We're gonna respect your name, but you. Was a little
questions.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I tell you, he invoked the spirit of Kadeen, you know, because he was eating that steak. He was like, yeah. I don't know what the ladies is talking about, but the steak right here, it cannot be reheated.
The real Samson came out and was hungry, okay?
He was chewing.
What you not gonna do is interrupt my.
Wait,
Sean. He was like,
"Keep talking again."
what you not gonna do is interrupt this steak I got right here. That's what you not gonna do.
What we're not gonna do is talk about these ladies. We're gonna talk about me, you, and this filet mignon. Eat the steak. Oh my God.
Oh man, listen, let's get into it then. Let's get into it. Who should we take first? Who should we jump into first? Who was the first? Who did we see first? Did we see Jamala first?
Did we see Jamala first?
I forgot
who we saw first. Was it Brandi and Mike we saw first?
I don't remember, but that's fine. That's a good start.
Yeah. I believe it was
Brandi and Mike. Let's start with Brandi and Mike then. Okay, let's start with Brandi and Mike. Who wants to go first about Brandi and Mike? What did you spot? What did you see? How was communication? What did you guys feel?
Brandi and Mike, I felt like it was more of the same. I think Brandi is like, she's more into Mike than I feel like he's into her. And I think it just spilled over into the presentation of her parents. She was very excited to have him there, so I thought that was, similar to what we've seen all season long. I think his interest has been right about in the level that it's been. He was respectful. I got to give Mike, he presented well with the parents, straight shooter, very honest, and he held to his own. And what I did like the most about Mike is that he told the same consistent story. So whatever he said to Kayla's parents, he said to Brandi's parents, and then he was honest with Brandi about the feedback that he gave. So that, I give him much respect for that.
Jay, talk to him, sis.
Dang, how are we gonna have this debate later on of how we not communicating good and we on the same page?
You just want to be tussling. You just want to tussle. That's what it is. You want to tussle.
I'm representing for the ladies, okay?
No tussle. No. There don't need to be no tussle.
No, but I definitely agree with that. I like his energy. He fits in with both parents. We've seen that because he was just laughing away with everybody's parents. So that's always a good, like, you right in there with the family. But that's also tricky. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes our friends are just that good. They good to be just part of the family, but they're not good enough to be in a relationship with us. So these ladies got a real tough decision with these guys, especially with Mike, because when you're bonding with people's family, that makes them feel like, oh, he's the one. He's safe. He's this. And, sometimes that's just a good friend. And you got to remember that. So it's the questions that are being asked. I know we're not getting into Kayla's, but her dad was on it. I loved her dad for him just flipping it back on Mike. Like, you got girls? Well, if you're in my position, what would you do? Answer the question. Like, boom. So it made him be real and real honest about himself, as well as the fact that I got girls. So yes, one day I'm gonna be in this position. But we do know that he kind of don't want no more kids. Both of these ladies do. So what are you going to do? We came down to the conclusion that Brandi wants less kids than Kayla, but still she wants more. She wants some. So, sir, if you don't want no more, you got to stand firm in that and just let these ladies go on about their way. We also did find out that he's been dating everybody.
Yes.
Everybody on this cast. And so that's why Brandi needs the reinsurance. It's not about her being insecure or anything like that. But if you're out here with everybody, it's the same with Jamala and Randall. And I said the same thing. If you're out here dating everybody, how do I know I'm that one? That's how Brandi felt about the gift giving. If you're giving everybody a gift, how do I feel special? So if you're putting yourself with everybody, how am I that one? So it's not about she needing reinsurance outside of this process. I don't think she might need it outside of this process, especially as a flight attendant. Like, you need it more about her being a flight attendant than she needs it about you, who you want. So I just need that brother to be totally honest and say, you are the one I want with these ladies. But we'll see. It's coming to the end.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, watching the episode, Mike definitely has shown us who he favors. undoubtedly. And I think he's done it on 2 occasions. I think someone even put it in the chat about a gift that he brought. He brought for Brandi earlier on when he met her friends, and I think he brought another gift as well with the family as well. But Mike definitely has affections for Brandi, and I think we were talking about it yesterday a little bit, that he fitted quite nicely into the family, and the family was quite welcoming of him as well. It seemed like a good fit. And so I think with Brandi and Mike, it was an interesting kind of conversation, because he kind of harped on about the airline situation, which I partly liked but partly didn't like. You know what I mean? Like, I like the fact that he was honest enough to say that was one of my main concerns. I think my other side of it is, yeah, you guys have already spoken about it. So surely has she not assured you enough? Are you not assured already about what she said what she suggested as a solution? If so, let's hash it out again and then quickly get it nailed in the bud, because we're having the same conversation again, which I thought she already gave a solution for. So that was my only kind of thing. But, at least he was honest about how he felt about the situation. So, yeah, I mean, Mike's definitely showed who he definitely wants. He definitely wants Brandi. And you know what? I think later on, when we do the men's section, we can talk about some things like that. Why do men choose certain women? Because I know ladies would probably love to know some of the men as to why they make the decisions they do. And we've spoke about it on the channel as well, about Mike and his choice between Kayla and Brandi. And actually, someone's asked a question here, and I'm going to get you two to jump in for me. Shan says, I have a question for the panel. Is it a red flag that Brandi hasn't had a relationship yet at 35? She's beautiful with a frat personality. I'm curious as to why she's never had a boyfriend.
Don't walk away. Oh, so now y'all don't want to communicate? Oh, now the men don't want to communicate. Oh, okay. All right. So I take it like this. Is it a red flag? I would say based off a person. For that person. It's just like the conversation we had the other day about the virginity. Yeah. That's based off a person. Is it a rarity that you haven't had that was her thing. She's probably had boyfriends, but not a real serious relationship. I don't think that's so much of a red flag for me personally, because if you're business oriented, that'd have been probably the reason. If you have your goals in line, that you've just been so focused that you didn't make that time. Now, the red flag on the other hand, though, like there is a red flag in there, is that you don't have the practice. You don't have what you might not know what it takes to be in an actual long-term relationship, or to even be with a person, period. So that's where some red flags might come in. But if you're business focused, and we see a lot of people like that, and we always looking at it, oh, that's a red flag, this, that, and the third. Like, I don't know. She got time, but it's based off of the person. I'll just put it like that. Whoever she's dating, if they feel it's a red flag, then they're probably just not the one for her.
Sure. Red flag or not?
Yeah, we kind of covered this, and y'all roasted us. So, Shan, we appreciate you. And yeah, it's a bit of a red flag, right? Because the red flag is you ain't going to be able to see the red flags. And similar to what Marriott was saying, right? It's like, and she's missing the red flags with Mike, right? So the red flag is you ain't going to be able to spot the red flags because you a red flag yourself. So that's that on that. There you go.
She might need practice. She might need practice. He might just be a practice dummy, okay? Let Mike be a practice dummy, little test dummy, Not to call the man a dummy like that, but you know what I mean.
No, to be honest, we spoke about this last time, but there was another piece of information I think was added. Was it today? I think it was, or another maybe episode. She's been in situationships. So that's the red flag. Mm-hmm. So it's not that she hasn't even dated. She's been in situationships, and so therefore that means you know often lack of boundaries, unable to tell someone what you really want, and be assertive about it. You know, accepting less than your value. You know, probably that involves self-esteem issues as well when you get into several situationships. Sometimes you just want to be in a situationship. We all understand that, but when you keep doing it. Yeah, you ain't trying to be in a situationship. You got problems there.
Question: what separates a relationship from a situationship? Because sometimes they can be really aligned.
In whose mind? Because see, sometimes y'all be having a relationship in your head, but a situationship in reality. So listen, if I say I'm in a situationship, I'm in a situationship.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, she's been saying that she's in a situation. She's been in a situationships, but never a regular.
Plus for her, she gets an A for knowing.
But I'm saying that the men might have thought they was in a relationship with her at that case. No, you guys are sometimes.
Let me finish.
Jay, please.
Let me finish.
Don't play with me. No, you're moving mad.
Let me finish.
Because I done had some people that thought they was in a relationship with me.
Because that's you on your dark arts. Y'all, we was out last night,
no dark arts.
and Jay can do, she could do some dark arts. Heads was turning, and I could see that she could easily do dark arts if she wanted to, but she didn't.
Thank you.
But
Did I
she
get a
wanted
number?
to, she could do it. But
Thank you.
yeah, for the most part, Jay, you're the exception. You're the exception, okay? You're the unicorn. But most of the times, the men, we be knowing. We be knowing.
I say the cat.
Seaway, just get yourself here, okay? Just get yourself here, okay? We'll tussle in person, all right?
No, but it's a good question, though. It's a good question. I think we will ask that later on today as well, actually. What's the difference between situationship and a relationship?
And it can get, but look, ultimately, I think that if you are in a ready-to-love situation and you are in an expedited process, not to shame her for not having a relationship, because shame doesn't do anybody any good. But I think like the reality of it is, if you are in this condensed process, right, you don't want your first experience to have to be expedited, because when you are ready to love, you want to have the ability to get to know the person, let them get to know you, and you don't want that to be your first time getting really serious. So I think like this process is probably not for her. And unfortunately, she can't see some of the stuff like those of us that have been in relationships, or those of us that are a little more experienced. We could see certain things a lot quicker and be like, yeah, nah, at 35, no. Maybe at 20, 25, we all might have been caught up by certain things because we just weren't, at that level. But later on, once we are like full-grown, mature adults, there's certain things that we can catch right away, right? So
I'm really glad y'all had that virginity conversation the other day. So now I'm about to do, I'm about to shake the table a little bit. So because she's never had a relationship, does that make her less experienced at being ready for love? Does that make her not able to be ready for love?
Not in the ready to love process, not in life. In life, I think she's a little behind the 8 ball, And again, it doesn't mean, and I see you, Kenya, we love you. I don't know that she'll, and what's fine, because we've learned that fine word, like when somebody says I'm fine, there's stuff underneath that, right? So yeah, she might be fine, but will she be successful at love? And that is where I question, right? Because even when we, on the other end, if we've had relationships and we have trauma in those relationships, there's still work to be done. There's still healing. Those are still red flags. So I don't think we should be so hesitant to just be honest about the situation and say like, hey, listen, this is somewhat of a red flag. It doesn't mean it's impossible for her to ever have a relationship. It just means there's some things she has to work out, some things she has to do the work to figure out, why did I get through life at this point and not have a successful relationship, right? What is it about me that I'm giving off? What am I learning from those past situationships? And that's the work that, I'm not saying I don't know her personally to say she did or didn't, but those would be the questions that I would have to be able to assess if she's fully ready to love at this point.
I'm glad that you added the extra at the end, because I sure enough was about to hit you with the, what about the high school sweethearts? Because they don't.
Jay, are you a picture today with the curveballs? Like, what is the deal? Like, she want to hit us with a curveball.
Y'all want this good conversation, don't y'all? Y'all better get y'all tickets and come on through, because we about to get into it tonight, baby.
And Felicia Hoskins, we appreciate you for the super chat. We love you. Thank you. Oh, we got another one. $49.99. Who was that? Nazareth. All right. Praise Nazareth.
Praise Nazareth indeed.
Yes.
Someone asked, what were Mike's red flags on the episode?
Actually, this episode,
he was actually all right.
He was pretty good, because he was, like Sean said earlier, he was honest. He was upfront about a lot of things. He answered all the questions, and he made good ways with both families. So I think his only red flag is he still don't know.
I think the thing I think is what you stated earlier, Jay, is he was a little cap on the kids. I don't feel like he's fully sold, because you don't go from not wanting kids to now you wanting 2 but not 3, you know? So I don't know. I think I'm more likely if a guy is willing, because the woman does the work of the childbearing and a lot of the nurturing. So could we change our minds? Sure, but I'm just not fully sold. I'm just not fully sold that he, really changed his mind. So I don't know if he's being honest. Like, I would have appreciated someone thought, like, you know what? In the beginning, I didn't want kids, but as I got to see Brandi, I got to know about her. I saw her qualities, and I see how much she wants to have kids and be a mother. Then, I'm looking at it a little differently. You know what I mean? And I'm more open, because that shows me you've thought about it. You're putting it in context. You're acknowledging where you were, but you're saying what the future could look like, versus just going from 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, which, is expedited. So
Agree. I like that.
All right, cool. I like that. Got one more super chat again. The Lady and the Sun says, thank you for coming to my birth city. I'm so excited to see you all this evening as well.
Nice. We can't wait to see you.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. And Jacqueline Ward said something which we were talking about earlier on, actually, last time. Question, are you guys going to give options to upgrade to VIP? Yes, we are. So listen, if you're there in Atlanta and you have a general ticket and you want to stay for the VIP experience with the After Dark, listen, there's a way to do it. We're going to ask people just to super chat $20 extra so you can get it. You won't get the coaching though, but you'll get the VIP, which means you're able to do After Dark after. So we'll appreciate that as well. So Cash App scrolling across the screen there. All right. So if you do want to upgrade to VIP, just send me a Cash App and put a little note underneath it. I think you can do a note. Can you do a note on the Cash App?
Yeah. You can put it in the memo.
Yeah, you can put a memo. So you can put a little memo there just saying, obviously, for VIP upgrade, and we'll put you on the list as well for that. All right, cool. So moving on to the next section. But before we do, again, guys, we're here. We're having a live show in Atlanta, okay? We'll be having it starting at 5 p.m., all right? So, doors open at 5 p.m. And we're going to be talking on live panel, talking about effective communication. I have 2 people on my sides who usually I see them on the screen. So when I see them in person, they are the same way, guys. Cat and dog. Cat and dog.
No, we get on like water on... What? No, I'm confused. Okay, I got stuck. There you go.
Had one or the other, but you could still put us together.
Yo, follow us on IG. We were a whole vibe. Kojo was upset because me and Jay was on a whole vibe.
Listen, they were annoying to me, having them both in the room. So no, we had cocktails, didn't we? We had cocktails. We had cocktails. Well, I had a mocktail.
I just had cock. I
had a mocktail. I had a mocktail. So, so make sure you grab your tickets as well, right? So effective communication will be discussion, and we're going to be talking about whether men and women communicate differently on the live panel show as well. We have a great person coming through, Phil from Ready to Love. I know you ladies love him. And listen, this is the time to shoot your shot, all right? Bro, shoot your shot.
Yo, I was feeling some type of way. You know what I mean, bro? Because, I love our good brother Phil. I'm looking to chop it up with him later. But, like, you just blasted his whole face on the whole community page, the whole community tab, like that.
Yep.
It's like, where's us? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
listen, they already know that you guys are amazing and great. You know what I'm saying?
They know he was on a whole TV show for the whole wide world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know. Where's my cameo?
Oh, you want a cameo?
Yeah, bro.
You want a cameo?
Put some respect on my
name. You want a cameo on IG?
Keep putting on work in here.
Should I put a cameo on the IG?
No, bro. I want it on the community tab. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, Sean is telling me.
Phil with the bite lip and all that. I'm like, yo, I can do the light skin sexy. I can do that. I can look at the camera. And real intense.
You need to send me your photo today. Send me your light skin photo today. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put you on. Send your light skin photo.
You got it.
Yeah.
You ain't said nothing but a word.
Okay. When you send your light skin photo, you're gonna be on the community level tab. Don't worry about that. You're gonna see Sean biting lip, guys. He said he's showing us the light skin pose.
That's it.
They said Sean is too much. Oh, gracious king.
Medium light skinned person on the thing. They didn't go full light skin for you, Sean.
You know what? I'm embracing my caramel.
Yeah.
So that's what
Slicing
somebody
as well.
told me I was caramel.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna give him a squint with the head tilt. You know, a squint with the head tilt.
Hit him with the whole R&B pose from the late 90s.
Offering luck together.
Be like,
They said, go ahead and bite your lip for us, Sean. Mhm.
Oh no! You got to come tonight to see that.
After dark?
Yeah. After dark.
After
After
dark.
dark. After dark. I gotta practice in the mirror.
Sean was biting his lip a lot last night. I was like, his head was turning everywhere on swivel last night. Atlanta had
Don't
him.
tell all my secrets. Don't tell my secrets.
Trying to tell him mine.
Yeah, he really did. He was out and I was like, oh my God. They gonna get him.
Jay is always with the get back.
He's single, so he can do it.
Oh, man. Okay. Oh, someone said, please tell me you watched Kayla's review of last night's episode on Sabrina's page. I didn't see it.
No.
I didn't see it, guys.
No,
so,
we was out turning up.
yeah, we was
what's
getting
that? Simplistic
cocktails.
Grace.
We was getting
Yeah,
cocktails.
we was turning up with all of us.
Let us know what happened in the chat, Simplistic Grace.
Oh, 1 second. That's Seaway.
Oh, I thought it was a raccoon.
Right.
I thought it was a raccoon. I was ready to start running. I thought it was a raccoon.
Hey.
I thought it was a raccoon. I honestly did. Hey, guys, we got Seaway. Sorry. Woo! I thought it was a raccoon, baby. I thought it was a raccoon. Let me come and say hello. Guys, we'll stay on the way. We're just going to say hello. Stay there. We're going to be saying hello.
Yes, it was good.
High live. High live.
Nice to meet you. Love your accent. That's great. Hi.
You talking about me? Oh, yeah, live.
All right, so I have officially taken over LBB, guys. It's the takeover. So what we talking about?
Show them, Sean.
What's up, everybody? All right, let me see.
I'm on the side now. Sean, take over.
They said they don't want to see Kayla and her desperation.
Right, real quick. Oh, we done switched up? We everywhere? We
Yeah, it's the takeover. Come do your takeover.
We multiple chairs. Hey. No.
Yo, y'all are wild and nice seeing you. Are you coming out later?
I might meet up with you guys later.
Okay.
Out tomorrow.
We hope to see you.
All right.
Don't like hip hop, so he ain't coming.
We like Henny, Seaway. Henny's kind of cute, Seaway.
You still are.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Hey, y'all.
We forgot y'all was here. Y'all like family. So where are we?
We are talking about what? Now Jamala and Thingy now.
Oh, on to Jamala and Randall.
Yes.
So listen, shout out to Randall for wearing long pants. Brother, you found some long pants in your collar. They had a couple holes in them, but listen, long pants nonetheless. We appreciate you for wearing long pants to meet the parents. We saw him talk a little bit more, right, with Jamala's parents. What else?
Still wasn't.
Well, it was the sister, wasn't it? The sister came a bit bright, though.
Yeah.
She came a little bit
Yeah,
bright.
Jay, the sister. I'm going to let you handle the sister.
No. No.
Tell us about the sister.
No, you want me to tell her what you thought about this?
No. I don't need you to speak for me. I'm good. We're going moving along. We can move.
Very nice lady.
Well, the sister, she had the news anchor voice though. She was like, they was putting him under pressure.
Listen, the sister was putting him under some severe pressure. I ain't like it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Not the pressure, but it was just. I thought the tone was a little bit. I don't know what. It felt like Jamala had because Jamala did tell him. She told him about the house situation. So the sister was coming at him because of the house situation. I was like, and I felt it was a bit because I really know that you already said about taking the scrotums and you kind of exaggerate. I didn't like that. Do you know what I mean? And I was just like,
But he did He did hold his own in that moment because he came back and told her like, hey, I told her to calm down. I have to date other people. I do have 3 other connections and down to 2 now or whatnot. So you got to chill back. I did like the mom coming out with the cards for the dad because the dad couldn't be there and stuff.
But
so
what
they had
was
the questions.
that makeshift thing she pulled out her purse?
Dad questions.
She was like, here, her laminated cards. She was like, all right. Here, let me put wait, what's this say?
1A.
He said,
1A.
why was you playing with
Kayla.
Kayla? What that baby name?
What that baby name?
What that baby name?
Whatever.
Get out of my room, Seaway. Seaway, get your stuff out of my room now. And take your airplane shoes and
Kayla,
out of my bedroom.
Jamala, get your stuff out Sean's room, Jamala. Come on out.
Get on up out of there now. The rooms have been claimed. When you the last to arrive, you the last to choose. Sorry, not sorry.
She still got a good room. She good. She got a
room.
nice room. Shoot.
Yeah.
She better than my hideaway downstairs. So you know, if y'all don't see me no more, y'all know what happened. I'm stuck in the closet down here.
Trapped in the closet. Well, listen, we canceled. He canceled. Sorry.
Oh.
I am not. Am I drunk at what time is it, Coach? You got this UK time.
12. Yeah, basically
12:44. No.
Nah. But no, where I was going with that was that I did like the mom listening to everything and telling Jamala at the end that she need to slow down and just like take her time. Now, is she gonna listen to that? I mean, it's a little late. It's a little late now. Like I don't know. I mean, I hope she does because Randall's still a little iffy. Even with his question and answering he gave, it was still not a strong answer. It's like, would you take care of her? Possibly. Yeah. Possibly. Like, what do you mean by that? So,
Still in limbo land.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and was it was it with Kayla's parents or Jamala's parents when he was like, I have 3 connections, and they were like, she said no, 2 actually,
Yeah.
because Trinika is
Jamala,
gone.
yeah.
She's like, yeah, because Trinika's gone.
Remember,
They got to.
cut her off. Cut her off now.
She gonna
Hang
go.
up. Hang up.
Wake up. I need you to focus.
Fix it.
You about to be the one.
She did with a straight face.
You about to be with Trinika because it's elimination. Keep talking about Trinika.
Yeah.
I got you. Play with me if you want.
If you want to, okay. Fix it. What is playing?
What's going on?
Hold on.
I was like, what is playing? Fix it. And fix it fast.
Oh man. Someone said Jamala's mum was following the leadership. Jamala's mum was just following her husband's leadership by being his lover and his secretary. Yeah.
Oh, we like it. We love to see it.
Love to see that, man.
Y'all love to see it, but see, Jamala's in that same category of being like her mom because everything was geared towards Randall.
Yeah, that's true.
So, do you really?
I
Like
think,
it,
I
love
think there
it?
should be a healthy balance, though, don't there? I think there should be a healthy balance
And I
between
think it's
two.
time and season, right? So when it is my wife, I'm going to be a husband, and the same for a wife to her husband. So I think she's just expedited in her. This is an expedited process, but she expedited the process further. So she microwaved it, you know? So I think that's what happened. She expeditiously expedited the process. So she's on her FedEx right now. She's on her overnight.
She's on Amazon.
She's on overnight delivery, and Randall's on ground. So he's still waiting.
Regular mail.
It's the snail mail.
Bird carrier.
Pigeon, right? Pigeon is still like, the pigeon.
Where do I go?
Which way do we go? Which way do we go? He's still trying to figure it out. Time for the one time.
See, wait.
Really? On live, Seaway, right there on that white paper. Seaway want to know the Wi-Fi code. Like,
We
I'm
back,
just
we
sitting here
back.
talking to my mama.
We back.
Right here, baby girl.
We here, we
And
back.
take them airport shoes off.
You clapping all in the mic.
He said, "Are you gonna take them F shoes off?"
We got monkeypox and all the pox.
They're gonna catch you on the live next
Oh,
time.
they
but-
said there's no Sean.
No, it went.
There's no sound.
Yeah, I took it off. It came off and then back on. Yeah, they're gonna have you like Corey at this rate, bro. The way you just said
Corey
that.
who?
Corey Hardrick. The way you just said the airport shoes, they're gonna break that down.
Oh,
Don't worry, guys. I will break it down for you guys. That was what Sean was there. He was frustrated in that moment, and the emotions were coming out at that moment. So it was a clap
That's
that
right,
came out,
'cause
but it's
Seaway
frustrating.
don't listen. That's the problem. She don't listen. She do what she want to do. Y'all about to have Seaway come lunge me. Lunge right at me. I got you. Listen. I got you. Listen. She be like, I got you. Listen. You gonna get one of these airport shoes upside your head. That's what you gonna get.
Oh, it's capital S.
Seaway don't pay me no mind. That's what y'all know.
It starts with an S and ends with an S. Okay, y'all go ahead.
Oh, come on. That's right, Katie.
That's what
need
I
to
thought.
regulate
You
my
see,
emotions.
that's what I thought. Seaway, he can't be writing like that. Putting S.
Next time, y'all, how about y'all don't get the Wi-Fi code then? That's even better, you know. Try to do something nice for black folks, and you know they want to criticize. That's ineffective communication. You know, it's rough and
Excessive
tough.
critique.
You know, excessive.
Yeah. Oh man.
Can I get a break?
B Love said we need you to have a talk show with a live audience. That's what we're doing, baby.
Tonight.
Tonight, baby. We starting at 5 p.m., baby.
Oh, here goes Bree.
Last call for these tickets.
That's it.
No last call. They're gonna get them up until the last minute.
Yep, guys. Listen, make sure you grab your tickets.
No.
Grab
we're not
your
shut-
tickets.
Seaway, do not shut anything down.
Grab your tickets, guys. Grab your tickets. You want to see more of this great kind of content? Listen, come and join us live today, man. If you're in Atlanta, come and join us. Okay. What we talking about next then? Who was the next person we saw?
So did we talk about Kayla and Randall?
We haven't talked about Kayla and Randall yet.
So maybe Kayla and Randall.
Kayla and Randall, her dad was on fire though.
Yeah,
Dad.
Dad.
That dad was straight shooting.
When the dad is dadding. That was a good dad. I like that dad. I got a good dad, so I don't need to borrow Kayla's dad. But if I need a line of questioning, Kayla, dad, are you available? Because, baby, you was questioning without even questioning. I like how he did it. He flipped it on Mike.
Oh, was the trust? He was like, you explained the characteristic.
Yeah, not the quality.
Yes.
He was going in. Kayla's dad. I did.
It got real quiet.
I mean, I didn't explain it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know, like break it down, bro.
I don't know.
Now I'm confused.
I
I gotta rethink.
What are we talking about?
I'm like, what?
What was the question?
He said straight shooting.
Oh no, yeah, dad was on it. I don't know still. Like, child, you know, neither one of these men really got it for you. So even with your parents giving you all this wonderful advice and you still have to make your choice, neither one of these is your choices. So I think you got something better in the world. I think just focus on you, sis. Focus on you. And I say that nicely, but it's some sarcasm underneath there. Focus on you, sis. And just move forward in this process. Don't wait for these men to choose you. That's where I go with this.
There's a question on here. Someone asked, I mean, it was Shanri again. She asked this question. What happened?
Is that a question or a statement?
A statement that's going to be a question.
How is she? Look, I think it's one thing with parents, and I mean, Jay is a mom, right? Mm-hmm. You can say this, and your daughter is wonderful, by the way. Akira did a great job. Ooh, I'm sorry. Your daughter did a great job with coordinating the trip, you know, and really helping for the travel. And I think that is a reflection of you. But sometimes when the kids don't move the way we want them to move, sometimes it's the kids just, they find their own way to a certain extent. Like, I think parents do their best to mold and shape, but at the end of the day, once they become adults, they're gonna, oh, we shouted that out. They're just going to they're going to kind of figure themselves out. And sometimes you'll see a kid that kind of goes far down the line, and it's not necessarily the parent's fault, right? It is sometimes it's just life. Life be lifing.
I think too, she made it a very good point herself when she was breaking it down between the two men. She was like, Randall would be the practical choice, but there's this energy between her and Mike, and sometimes we move off of that energy, which is crushing, lusting, and is basically your sexual energy that we give people. We move more off of that than what's right for us. So I think that's where she's at in the process. It's nothing to take away from her parenting or how she was raised or her decision making, but we all do that. We see something that we want and it might not be for us, but we go after it because we want it. So sometimes that's just what it is.
Yeah, good point.
I think with Kayla, I think because she more identifies maybe with her father. I think that plays a big part as well. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's like we say all the time about boys and fathers. You get your identity from your father. You get your mannerisms in terms of how you should move as a man, oftentimes from your father, right? So I think what you see with Kayla is that she has a very logical mindset when it comes to dealing with things. Because I think we had her on the channel, and as soon as the conversation went to emotions, I even jumped out and said, Jay, jump on it, speak to her. Maybe she needs a woman to kind of speak to her. And even then, still, it felt like it still wasn't hitting correctly. You know what I mean? So I think that part is probably why she may be having issues. It's very, one might call it male identified in terms of the way we think, and I think that was where the issue comes. So you have that kind of battle within your mind. So I think she would want someone like Randall. But if I was to say about in terms of context between Randall and Kayla, Randall would be more feminine. I'm not saying that he is feminine. I'm just saying in the context between them two, he would become more feminine. She'd be more masculine. Whereas with Mike has a more dominating personality, which means that she has to revert back to the feminine. I think that's where she's struggling. You'd want to be Randall, but he doesn't push you into your feminine. And I'm going to say this is why you need to work on yourself. Because once you can get into the situation, you can then turn that on and turn it off at the right times. And I think that's sometimes what we're struggling with sometimes as ladies.
I'm just reading chats. Oh, they're doing so much.
Oh, Lord.
No, but I'm not addressing that. Also, too, on the flip side, sometimes when we're not actually ready for a person that we might feel is best for us, we don't go for that. Sometimes it's just like, I'm just not ready, so I don't want to mess it up. It's kind of like, that's why some friends don't come out of friend zone, because we don't want to mess up the friendship when we just don't see them as a long-term situation. And me personally, this is just my opinion, I don't see Kayla as, I think she wants a long-term relationship, but I don't see her being just ready for that, just not yet. I think she just wants to live just a little bit more before she goes down that road. And to be honest, she wants to be in her feminine. So I feel like if she feels like she goes down that road, she's going to be compromising her goals and everything else in that process.
And the last part to just for me is, I think sometimes, when you tell somebody something that's good for them too much, they go in the opposite direction. So I think like everybody is co-signing on Randall as the one that's going to be better suited for her. And she even said it. She was like, but I'm going to be the one that has to be in the relationship with them. So I need to, choose the choice make the choice that I want. And I think that's what happens. Like you'll hear dads tell, like, I'm not going to say I like this guy, because if I tell my daughter I like this guy, she's going to run away from him. So I think sometimes, there's a little bit of rebellion, and I sense that in Kayla too. It's like she wants to do it for herself. And if you tell her something too much, she's going to go right in the opposite direction.
Yeah, it's that difference between picking Mr. Right and Mr. Right now. And stuff. So sometimes we be in that predicament. It's like, what do I really want? Do I really want to go down this whole process of being in a real relationship and it not work? Or if I just can get what I want out of it, because my lust is telling me, let's move this direction, and it might work into a relationship, that's great. So
yeah,
she's still young. Like I say, I just don't think she's just ready for that full-on commitment just yet. I know in her mind, her biological clock is ticking. It's like, I want 3 kids, so I got to get on the move with it. But I don't think she wants to sacrifice.
And that's the battle, because now you have to figure out, this is what we call are you ready to cash out? Is she ready to cash out? If you're not ready to cash out, then you're right. This is you're gonna have this battle that she's having right now, between Randall and Mike. I think and I've said this loads of times on the channel. Yeah, cash out. Like, you're gonna cash out. Yeah. Like, you're going to come out the game, because Yeah.
What do you mean? Because she got to find somebody that's gonna keep her leveled up.
We playing roulette.
Right.
We playing roulette.
Yes, we're playing roulette.
Cash out. She done.
I'm done.
Get ready to cash out, guys.
He want to go to Vegas next. Next tour, Vegas.
Cash out.
Oh, they can't hear you too well, Jay.
Did it cut? Okay. Yeah, I think what Kojo is basically saying is that in her mind is that's going to have to be an ultimate sacrifice. She might be one of those type of people that I have to give my all in whatever I'm doing, and so if I'm not giving my all at work, it has to be in a relationship, but I can't do half and half. And some people move like this, that it's hard to find balance in the things that they're doing. So she just has to learn how to slowly balance herself into a relationship and then have a partner that can balance just as well as she does, to know that it takes two of us to work this relationship out. It's going to take two of us to make this family grow. And so you don't have to sacrifice. I don't have to sacrifice, but now we're making compromises for one another to make what our dream as a family grow.
You know what? Crystal said the mic is too funny. Do you know what I love about the mic? Y'all shouldn't be talking when you don't have the mic. No, jokes. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Yes. I'm not done.
I'm not done.
Well, you ain't got the mic.
No, that's what.
Talk to yourself.
Mic off.
So listen, Crystal, this was meant to be a little quick live, but you know we can't get in front of the LBB family and love you and leave you. So
Yeah.
it's just got more long.
We're
It
not
was
made
longer
for
than
quickies, y'all.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so we're on the long haul. Okay, cool. So after Kayla and Randall met, we had who was after that?
Shareese and
her dad.
Shareese and her pappy.
Shareese, Samson, and Papi. Hi, Papi. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
We're gonna call her. Shout out to Seaway. That was Mr. Shareese daddy. Mr. Shareese daddy.
Mr. Shareese daddy.
He's a man of a particular
Daddy.
age. Multiple particulars. So guys, don't go hard on him. You know, he's just. We lucky he had his teeth in. You know, so.
Okay.
We liked him though. Yeah, sorry. I'ma go.
Sean is awful.
Let myself off. Let me turn my mic off. Let me
You
just
can't
unmic
hide
myself.
behind the phone, Jay.
Let me just unmic myself.
No, I'm just stating. No. Be clear. I just want us to be easy on him.
Don't you go make sure they get you too?
Bro,
A-shaming, guys.
ammunition.
Get him, guys.
Look, I ain't gonna be on there tonight. That's why I'm gonna be home healing.
Get him, guys.
I'm gonna be in the Airbnb healing.
Hold my feet up, like,
Exactly, like,
Rocking back and forth.
Exactly. Y'all see somebody in
Don't
the
let
back
Shareese come
throwing
first.
tomatoes?
Shareese gonna come for you.
I throw a tomato. No, I'm just saying we got to put some respect on the father's age. You know, he's seasoned, so let's not go too hard on the pappy. That's what I meant to say.
Okay, so you ageist. All right, cool.
And thank you, Seaway, for removing yourself out. We appreciate you for the disclosure.
Do you have anything to say about Mr. Sampson?
I don't, because I didn't watch.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But what do you guys think, though, Mr. Sampson and Shareese? You know, it looked like Samson was getting along with Shareese and Papi, and in the end, it looks like Papi turned it around and said, that guy's not that great. I see myself in him in a sense of my playfulness. What you got?
Yeah, and I think in that instance, he did exactly what I think sometimes we see Mr. Sampson do. Shout out to Seaway. And, you know, we talked a little bit about Mr. Sampson earlier. He kind of showed up and showed out a little this episode. But I think there is a little bit of more than meets the eye with our good brother, right? And sometimes we all have that. Like, there's something that I need to work on, right? All of us, there's something we need to work on, and it starts with self-awareness, right? So if you're hearing a message, and we've said this consistently, from multiple people that are giving you some feedback about things that you're doing that are coming off a particular way, you need to kind of sit back and be like, you know what, is it right? Because all the ladies said when Samson, the gifts, right, that he showed up and he gave the pappy that mug. What was that mug about? What do you think about the mug?
I told you I thought the mug was for the mom. He wasn't expecting the daddy be there because it was pink and everything. It was like, I was trying to read what it said real quick.
And he had that little orchid plant that he got.
he got
selling
for
them at Target.
Yeah, he got 2 of them, one for Shareese and one for the mom. But you making it better. You making it worse. You making it worse.
Got matching orchids.
How we turn this off? Sean, you don't have the mic.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Thank you.
Seaway, go to sleep, okay? And
But-
take them airport shoes off.
These gym shoes are brand new.
But you was walking through the airport with them.
This is just an example of why
Oh
men
my
don't communicate
gosh,
well
you can't
and
just stay in the
stuff,
house
you
with
know.
everybody. If they don't
Because
take their
see,
shoes off, tramping around.
Sean is on his Corey right now. Y'all can
Don't
hear
put
me.
that- no,
Y'all
no,
can
no,
hear me
no,
right
no,
now.
no.
I'm talking low because I'm scared of Sean right now.
Let me finish.
Scared of nobody.
They got me down. They got me down in the basement, y'all. They got me down in the basement. There's only one way in and one way out. See, swinging knives. Lord Jesus. No, but seriously, that is the whole thing. You're giving gifts to everybody. How do I know that I'm special? How do I know that I'm the one? And that's why we find Shareese still in that limbo, still trying to figure it out. And then we find out not only Mike been dating everybody, but you've been dating everybody too. And, you know, some people that we never thought you secretly talking to. Now, you know, whether it's the truth or not, because Katie did have a little smile on her face. So I was like, is she just gaslighting us all with this? He made this call, or did he make this call? Why, to me, it's like you have nobody here. So why are we pushing a plea to stay on this show? You don't show a true interest in Shareese. Because even when the question is asked, what do you like about her? You still didn't give me what about her. You like that she's family oriented. But nothing else. What is the problem? So like, we haven't gone deeper, and you're not even listening deeper. And so, I mean, tonight's topic is going to be great because to me, it's like, even if she was saying all about her or whatever, you should have had more than just she's family oriented by this time. You guys have been on multiple dates alone. So it should be more than that. And it seems like you haven't been talking much on dates. So that means that she's doing most of the talking, I'm assuming. I don't know. But something's not right. Something's just not connected. You was more connected to that steak than you was to Shareese. It was more intimate there. Like, and for you to think that to make the comment like, well, the dad likes me, so she should be okay. Are you trying to date the dad? What are we doing? So no, she should not be okay if the dad likes you. If she got good discernment, just because my dad likes you, he might, you can have a bromance with my dad. Go ahead, have fun. Go fishing with my dad, do all your things, but that doesn't mean you're going to be in a relationship with me. Trust. Yeah. For all y'all out there that are still having fun with my dad, enjoy.
Out of control.
Out of control.
Big time. And Alice, we in an Airbnb. That's where we is.
Mm-hmm. Seaway is here, guys, by the way, as well. So
I'm kidnapped at the base for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You got a whole suite down there, so cut it out,
With
Jay.
a locked door, so just let y'all know it's a locked door that we can't get in. So you want to switch?
Exactly.
You wanna switch?
You chose it.
No, I'm good.
What?
Until them noises
I'll be
start
back in
hitting.
this basement.
Oh, there go your boo. Love me.
Stop that nonsense.
Yeah, I done banged my head twice.
He said his head twice on there.
I'm about to have a concussion.
Yeah. What about you guys? Did you guys? Could you understand Shareese a bit more once you met her father and once he had come through on the screen? Did you get to understand Shareese a bit more in terms of why maybe she is the way she is, or was that not helpful at all?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't remember getting much out of it. I mean, I'm seeing her more. I am seeing her more through this process, especially to the point that she was vulnerable enough to shed some tears in the ladies' lounge. But the reason we're not seeing her much is because there's still not enough dialogue of conversation between anybody with her, other than what we've seen, the altercations in the past. So it's hard to gauge where she's coming from and why she's that way. Samson didn't really ask the dad much questions about it and stuff. The dad volunteered that she's a tough cookie, but some of our dads know how we are and that we can be a little bit of this way, but that doesn't mean that with every man that we're going to be that way. It just means that the right man that comes along will be able, and I know you guys hate when we say it, but they will be able to handle it. But it's not really the handling of it. It's to bring the something else, that other part that she's guarding out, because that's a guard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that I understand. First, I'm going to start with saying I understand why Shareese is frustrated in the process when it comes to Samson. I totally get it. Because she's looking for him to go a little bit deeper. But one of the things that she said that I kind of took, issue with or disagree with, she was like, I'm vulnerable. And I don't know that I see that as a characteristic trait that she has. I'm sure it's in there, but she is a very guarded person. And when we said this last week, when it came to when she was giving him that massage and that facial, when she was like, I want him to go deeper. And I think that was the best time for her to go deeper, right? So if you're looking for that from somebody, then you show us the vulnerability. It's like, I think she's like, let you show me the vulnerability so that I can show you mine. So it's like, you show me yours first and then I'll show you mine, that's not a healthy way in a relationship. If you're looking for a connection and I like you and I think, I see a future with you, I'm going to show you enough to see, hey, listen, this is what I'm looking for. And now can you match that? Now, if you can't, then that's when I know we're not on the same page. So I think a little more self-awareness on Shareese's end in terms of who she is and being vulnerable.
My question would be like, and it's just not to anybody like that because only Shareese couldn't answer this, but like what lineup is she in the succession of children? Because different lineups, and Kojo will understand because me and him is like older children. We lead by example because we are the example in our family. So we have a tendency to say, okay, here's what I want from you, but by showing you, it is what it is. But as far as like the baby child, or in your case, Sean, maybe the only child, you might not do it because in your case, you might not have nobody else to bounce off of. And with the baby, usually by that time, it's just like me. So, it's what I want, what I need. And this is not in all cases. So if you're in this line, it doesn't always work like this. But in most cases, you do see this, that the oldest child does lead by example. So it's easier for us to sit there and be more vulnerable with other people because we have to be that with our little siblings. Where the youngest is usually the toughest and, they're just doing whatever they want because we're here to protect them. Yeah. So... that would be my question. And what line is it falls under? And maybe that's why either that or past events have made her say, you know what, I'm not going to open up until I get somebody else to open up to me. Then I know that you're that one. But I think that's what made her so hurt in this process because like you said, we don't see her as vulnerable, but maybe what she gave Samson was her level of vulnerability to start for now. And that was a lot for her. And now I felt kind of bad because I was like, damn, I hope this does not scar you moving forward as far as it goes. Because sometimes when we finally give somebody and it's not the right person then we're just more closed off and it's like, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to go there. So hopefully she can continue down the process of just trying to open up with people because this, like I said, it's the same thing like with Brandi. You have to practice. You have to practice to get there. And so you gotta be willing to give yourself and be willing to be hurt in the process. Love shouldn't hurt, but the way we're imperfect, it does. So you gotta be open enough to say, I could take a little bit of hurt, but that little bit of hurt, I can turn it and make myself stronger as I move forward.
Yeah, and I'm totally with you on that. And I think that might play into why we're not seeing her show up as vulnerable. And I see some of the comments that said there was a longer clip where she shows some vulnerability.
She did.
No, she's not. Okay, guys. So I mean, listen, we're gonna call it as we see it. And we were talking to a friend yesterday, right? It's like, and it's not to blame or point fingers, but sometimes when women are in a certain role for so long, it forces them to be in a position that they have to do more, right? So if you're taking care of your family or you've taken care of yourself or you've built a business and now you've been an entrepreneur for so many years and you might be like, oh, I want somebody to take this off my shoulders, which is fine. But at the end of the day, if you can't flip that light switch that quick. So you're very used to leading in a very particular way. And from a man's perspective, and we're talking for men, right? As we see you, it's going to determine how we treat you. And she doesn't give the energy that she needs you. Yeah. Right? You can say, I don't care. You can tell me, oh, I want to love. I want to be in a relationship. I want to be taken care of. But that's very different than how you show up. It's words and actions together. And her actions show very guarded. You know, her and Kay, both of them are very combative, right? So that energy already kind of repels, because as men, we don't want that energy, because our fear, and Swayze has even said this a few times, is it's going to get directed at us, right? Because and what happens is, it's like, oh, sometimes the mess is fun to watch from the sidelines, but you know those same behavioral characteristics are going to come swinging right back at us. So we will run from some of that stuff. So get it. I'm not saying Shareese was wrong in how she handled anything in this particular episode. I think she did made the best decision for herself in the circumstances. I think it was right. But what I'm saying is, we still have to be able to talk about how she showed up and what things that she could do better down the line, or be conscious of how she comes off, because she comes off very hard, very guarded, and it's going to take a man that is super invested and willing to do that work. And there's probably not a lot, and that's what happens. Why she's running to the the situation.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you, bro. You said the right words there as well, and I think that's what we'll talk about that today later on the live panel as well. So those kind of conversations, because I think that's really important. Talking about, because we spoke about this in New York about vulnerability, and we spoke about being open, and also as well about how people sometimes believe they're being vulnerable, but when you actually really get deep to the conversation, you realize they're actually not that vulnerable, and they actually are in a more, I would say, a more dominating, almost control position, right? Because you're trying to protect yourself from being hurt. And I think that's the hardest thing about love. Once you get hurt, it can be very difficult sometimes to recover and want to be in a place where you can get hurt again. And that armor that you wear makes it very difficult. And I want to talk from that's why I wanted to hear your perspective, Sean, from the male perspective, because when we talk to women sometimes, it's good to be able to give the male perspective in terms of what do we see. Because I think sometimes we label men as being really dumb, and they just can't see nothing. They can't do for nothing. But men actually do see things, and that's why sometimes they take a different course of action away from the person. So that's what I was saying about the Mike and Brandi situation, Kayla situation, Shareese situation, and two. I'm not saying that Samson is even the perfect guy either. We're not saying that at all. We're just talking solely about Shareese and what energy does she present. And you said something really key, which is probably the most important thing, is that energy will indefinitely turn to you eventually, right? Shareese will go from, let's say, because I think I said this at the beginning of the season, Shareese started off with the women, she ended off with the men, right? So you can say, oh no, I'm not like that with guys, I'm only like that with girls. No, you go and come round to the men eventually, because that's what you trained yourself to act in those moments. When you feel like someone's about to attack you, that's how you react to situations. So yes, being vulnerable. Let me ask a question, maybe Sean. You don't have to go into too much detail. We can do this on a live panel. How would you see, or how do you view, I don't know how to play it, but if you see a woman, how do you see her vulnerability in terms of, like, how do you spot her vulnerability? And I don't mean it in a way of manipulation, by the way. I'm talking about in terms of, that she needs you, or she has room and space for you to actually be in her life. Because some people say they want you to be there, but, when you get there, they don't have no space for you. How do you see that? And how do you view that when you're looking at, let's say, talking to a woman?
Yeah, so I would say it probably starts with when we have conversations, right? Like, what are we talking about? What is the context of our conversations, right? And if we are in a relationship setting, does she show me the things that I would want in somebody that I want to be with, right? Is she open? Does she talk often about, her feelings? Does she ask me about my feelings? Is she considerate? If something comes up, and I'm just saying from the male perspective, right? If something comes up and I'm like, oh, babe, that kind of made me feel a particular way. And she's like, oh, my bad, I'm sorry. Or if I say, I come home and I have a look on my face, or she sees me and I'm a little different, she takes the time to ask me, how you doing? And with a genuine, concern about how I feel. I think when you see that, there's a layer of vulnerability, right? Or she will share with me a problem. We watched Zatima, right? Yep. Dope show. I think the thing that I liked about that is there's layers to her.
Yeah.
So in one of the recent episodes, she was crying, right? And then he was able to hug and embrace her, and she was vulnerable enough to let her wall down, as frustrated as she was as things that were going around, but she let him hug her, right? And she said to him, this is how I
You might want to hit your last little part.
Yeah, you might have to say the last part.
Oh, I forgot. So. Jay.
Okay. Well, I'll say on the woman's perspective side of that, what we need to be vulnerable is really short. I'll say the top two. There might be a whole list of other things that individuals may need, but the top two things is security and trust. You have to make us feel like you're a secure and safe place, and we have to have trust in you that you can lead us. And then we can be vulnerable, because for us, vulnerability means our lives. You know, and so it's like, do you have what it takes to protect me? Not just protect me physically, but protect me emotionally, spiritually, you know, mentally. Do you have that? And if I don't get that from you, you know, that energy, if I don't get that off of you, it's harder for me to sit there and just open up and say, this is me, and this is that, and this, and the third. You know, that takes practice for me to get in that space to saying, you know what, I want to do this, but I can be hurt in this process. I know you can hurt me. So if I've already been hurt, I've already been tainted. For me, it's going to be even harder, each person that I approach, to sit there and say that, unless I feel from you that security. And then with that, are you honest enough, you know, to trust me with your stuff? That means that, okay, now I can trust you with yours. And that's what Shareese is looking for in this process. That's why she keeps wanting him to open up. She's like, you know, I'm giving you a little bit of me. I want to give you more, but I can't, because you're giving me nothing. So it's hard for her.
But I don't see any vulnerability. And I think that's the other part. And as you were talking, I think, like, we talk about men and women, and men should be leading, but I think women and men lead in different areas. And I think as a man, we typically will look for the woman to lead in the vulnerability, right? Because typically that's a more comfortable space for you. So when it's flipped and you're just as guarded as we are, and now we have to try to get past that guard, it's a very difficult road, right? So I think that is the thing. And it's not to say, I'm not saying be vulnerable and give a man your all and put yourself in a position to be hurt, but that's the femininity. It's not just showing up being girly and dressing in heels, although I do like heels, you know, but it is that vulnerability. That's the feminine energy. And I wish we had Jazz here, because she does a good job of talking about that feminine energy. And even when she was on the panel with us in New York City, it's just how she moves. It's how she is. You know, when she's in a space with you, you feel a particular way. But I think there's also different types of feminine energy too. Like, Jay, we know each other well. You have feminine energy. Like, you're like, if I'm talking and you disagree with me, you may push back, but you're not going to fight with me, or you're not going to try to embarrass me and go over top of me to hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? So that is something that we see. It's like, we can have a disagreement and I can end up not feeling destroyed, because that's what often happens in relationships. When men and women get into disagreements, we feel destroyed because your words, like a woman's words, are unmatched. When she wants to zing you, you're finished. So I think that's that piece of the balance of, and see, this is femininity in action. Jay is holding my mic for me, you know, and that's love. But I think, like, at the end of the day, they can't hear. At the end of the day, we are looking for you to lead in that. That's the role where you definitely can lead, right? So that's my thought.
I just add like to that. Like, I think the problem with these two in particular is both of them are waiting for the other one to make that move. And a lot of times, if I've been hurt as a woman, I've been hurt already. I'm looking for something in you. So that's why I'm saying, if you don't open up just a little bit, it's hard for me to be vulnerable with you. It's not that it's not there and that she doesn't have it. We just not seeing it, because with Samson or with anybody else in this process, It's just something that she's looking for that's giving her the security to say, okay, let me be. And it's not showing up. And so because Samson has been the one who's expressed some interest in her, she's trying to get it out of him, but he's not giving her anything. And it's like, I took a step to you. Now take your step to me. And as a man, I need you to take 2 steps to me. So I'm sure. But he's like, step one more time and then I'll try. And she's like, okay, well, here's another step. Now it might come in the form of the same question because it's just like, I'm not getting what I need. I'm still looking for something. So we tend to do this when we want a certain answer. Yeah. We'll keep asking the same question because we're looking for a particular answer instead of asking the same, like, to get the answer we want a different way, the same question a different way. We tend to might probably do it the same way over and over. And so now we're nagging, yet we're looking for a particular answer to say, okay, let me open up some more. Yeah. And sometimes we just not getting that. So I'm not going to take away from either one of them, but neither one of them is making that move to the other.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. And you just said something that made me think. And I think it's like they teach this in therapy, right? If you're in a point of misunderstanding and the person is not understanding, your partner is not understanding what you're trying to say, it's you ask them, what do you hear me saying? Right? You know, so I think it's like mirroring that back. Like, so if I keep asking you, beating you in your head saying, I need more vulnerability, just like you flesh the question out, you got to flesh it out. It's like, what do you hear me saying? Right? And then from there, it would be like, well, what does vulnerability look like to you? So that should be Samson's question back to Shareese is, what does vulnerability look like to you? And how is it that you need me to show up? Because he may not know, right? He may not know, or he may not be at the point, because I see him as very guarded as well. And I think Samson, as a good guy kind of person, he's very conscious of how others perceive him, right? So he might not know how to really be vulnerable because he's so overly conscious on how he's perceived. So he thinks, like, on the surface, well, listen, I'm a good guy, I treat women well, you know, I'm, you know, no kids, never been married, you know, I try my best, I go to church on Sunday, you know, all those things on the surface. But I think he's got to really understand how to go deeper. And again, Dr. 100%, there's a difference between a good guy and a nice guy, right? You know, so he has some good qualities, right? But that doesn't mean that he is ready to love or ready for a relationship, because he's got to get a little deeper, right? And I think they look like they had somewhat of a connection, but I think that both of them being more clear about what each other needs and how that looks like is going to be key.
And also just to you know, add to that as well in terms of vulnerability and so something you guys ever watch kung fu movies, right? You're watching kung fu movies, they always tell you about how you have to almost be in a state of relaxation. Yeah, you're still ready to fight, but you are in a state of relaxation that helps you to be able to be ready to be at your most, your best in terms of striking, in terms of defense, and being able to read the opponent's moves. That's actually how vulnerability has to be for a lot of ladies, and for men as well. Because I think the ladies are saying something which is quite interesting, like they risk their whole lives almost in the sense of being vulnerable, and I totally understand that. So what I believe is a solution is there has to be, and this is why I always prescribe about going and getting healed, because it puts you in a state of relaxation rather than being agitated, right? Because what it should be is that we both read each other's energy, and that should make us both feel comfortable in the setting. But when you're hurt and you have the guard up and the wall up, or you're looking for me to activate something, you know what I'm saying, rather than it being that you're reading me and going, actually, okay, I can see his vulnerability, and me too reading you and going, I can see your vulnerability too. I'm not having to fight to try and get to that place, or you're fighting to get to that place. So it's almost a state of, you have to be in a state of relaxation. I think they, you know, in conflict, they want to tell you, like, it's almost like water. It's like, it's the flow. That's how you have to be vulnerability, because when you do that, what it allows you to do is, okay, you can flow with things, and when you flow with it, you don't get that same hurt, because the reason why you get hurt is when you become hard. It's almost like hitting the water. When you hit water from a high distance, pow, it hurts because the water becomes hard. But if you were to let's say even dive and have a body shape, right? You enter into the water. So the shape of the body matters. And it's almost the same thing with vulnerability, in the same way you have to almost become like water, but not become like water that's when someone's jumping in with in an open shape. And the same with vulnerability. You've got to almost find your way of flowing. Once you begin to flow, what it allows you to do is, I can be vulnerable and I don't have to try and fight the vulnerability. You can't hurt me because I'm flowing with you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I brush off you. And that's when you get to a point where you have become, I'll say when you become to a certain level of healing, and you understand yourself and what you need as well. Once you get to that place of knowing what you need, you just flow, because you know that if this person doesn't have what you need, it's water for ducks back, man. It's like, yo, like, I don't need to give you too much because you don't have what I need, but I can be cool with you, and that's really cool in that sense. So I would say if anybody is trying to get to that space, it's about being able to flow. Are you able to do that? Because I'll be honest with you, as men, and I know as women will say, you know, it's crazy out there and men are crazy, and I'm with you. But also when you present that hard shell, a lot of men are taking the opposite. They just literally, they sense you for a few minutes and they go the opposite direction. And I don't want that for you guys. And for the gentlemen too, we also got to be ready to also as well be ready to be in that state of flow, so that we can also ride and also spot and discern who's a good girl and who's not good for us. You know what I mean? So it's about both parties getting to that space of healing, so we can flow easily in these relationships. You know? Yeah. Listen, guys, we're here talking about Ready to Love, but, you know, we're here later on in Atlanta. Yes, we decided to bring the show live to you guys. Look, we got 520 people at 1:30 in the afternoon. 520 people. Look at that. And look at that. You know, we really appreciate you guys coming through. So we're talking to you guys about Ready to Love, but we're going to be live in Atlanta later on, doing a live show, doing a live panel talk. You know, listen, if you're enjoying some of the conversation we're having right now, then you need to be joining us, getting your tickets for the show. All right, you can either get stream tickets. There's still a chance to, if you're in Atlanta, buy your tickets so that you can come and be physically present and be there as well. But if you can't make it, by all means, grab your tickets, get a stream, the same way you're streaming this right now, and enjoy that live panel talk. And I'm going to get the men together as well, ladies, as well, so that you guys, and you ladies, sorry, can actually hear our thoughts, because I think it's really important. And the one topic I'm really loving, I want to be able to speak to the men about actually, is why do we choose the women that we choose? And I think one of them is the vulnerability piece, a big one on that as well. So, yeah.
So let's just go over the details on how to get tickets again, because I'm seeing a lot of questions. Yes, the stream tickets are on the Event Noir site. You can purchase them, right? But if you're in Atlanta, come out, because guess what? The stream tickets, you will not have access to the After Dark, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're here, come through. You know, you got time. You don't have to show up at 5 o'clock on the dot, right? If you want to roll through at 6:30, come through. You know, this is family. People show up on CP time, right? So please go to the Event Noir site. Tickets are there. Please, you know, come out and support us. Check us out. And you know, spend some good quality time with us. Kojo is checking out some numbers. So you'll get the email link in a couple of hours, as per Seaway, for the link to be able to join us. So that what'll happen is, once you purchase the link, you'll get registered, and then it'll send out a mass email to all those that purchase the streaming link. You know, again, we got live tickets still available. Listen, if y'all in the area, you're a 2-hour drive away, get in your car, come out, come on. You know you love this conversation.
Listen, tell them to pre-up, because there is no alcohol.
Yeah, guys, there's no libations tonight. You know, so yes, you're gonna have to pregame first. We will have some great refreshments that was set up. Shout out to Bree; she helped to coordinate together with Kojo some great food options, you know, for us tonight. So we will have that, but no libations. We will just have flat water.
Yeah, and some juice.
Nice bottled water and some juice, some Snapples, you know, and that's that on that.
If you want the libations, libate yourself before you come.
Or after.
Or after.
Or after.
You know, libate yourself before or after, because libations won't be on the premises.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So that's what it is. This time to Chicago. Okay, yeah. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, the 2023 guys, 2023.
We're planning,
but we won't be in Saskatchewan, so don't look for us there. We won't be in Albuquerque. We won't be in Indianapolis. I'm sorry, guys. Shout out to all those places. They're beautiful, but we won't be there. But Chicago is on the list, right? I think that's on the list. Chicago, Houston, and LA. I think those are the options that we're looking at. But listen, if you are, again, last plug, if you are in the area, please come out and support us. We had a blast in New York. We had such a good time. Appreciate everyone who did come out and support us in New York. Shout out to all of y'all. And we didn't see so many of our moderators and such. But we got some moderators coming through tonight. For sure. We're looking to meet later on today, so.
Yeah. Well, Shareese and her dad. Oh, let's a little about Samson then as I end up, because Samson obviously showed his tail.
Oh, his homegoing.
Oh,
his homegoing celebration.
He was on something mad. What was your thoughts to Samson and the madness in terms of the ending? Do you know what I mean?
So, Mr. Sampson, like I said earlier, appreciate you, bro. Seemed like a solid dude, but I felt like you handled that situation poorly. You know what I mean? And I think that you were not open to the feedback. And we talk about being open to feedback, right? This was his time. He knew what this date was about. He should have been open to hearing the feedback that Shareese was giving him. And there was deflection, right? Because as soon as she said, me and the ladies, this is what I found. Well, it's not about the ladies. It's about me and you. Bro, you're not hearing her. You're listening to react. And that's the worst position to be in, especially if you're in a relationship setting, is you're reacting and you're thinking about what you're going to say next before the person has even finished their sentence, right? And you're not trying to hear them. You are trying to defend yourself, and you're trying not to be wrong. And I think some of us in relationships, we get caught up in that, and Samson showed that action, right? And again, I think like when we talk about these things, and sometimes the people that show up, they watch this and they talk about editing and they talk about all these things, and we understand that. We know it's not easy to have people telling you about you, right? But we're just saying what we see. And what we see is somebody that's not open to change, somebody that thinks they're all together and not willing to hear, hey, listen, how can I show up differently for you, right? Because we talked a lot about Shareese and how she can maybe communicate vulnerability better to Samson. But, if you really have a genuine connection with somebody, right, and if he's fully invested in Shareese and he's heard time and time again, how do I want you to be vulnerable. The question should be, how can I do that? Right? Tell me what you're looking for. How can I be what you're looking for me to be? Right? And be open to listen, because truth be told, I don't think Samson was necessarily going to be eliminated, or they set it up that way. Maybe it was production. But the task for Shareese was to sit down with Samson, talk it through with him, see how he feels, and then you make the ultimate call if you feel like he's ready to love. So he kind of went on a downward spiral because he was not willing to listen. He did not want the feedback. He didn't want to work on things with her. And from what we saw, she had a willingness to work on the situation, but he wanted to be right. He wanted to be perceived as good. He wanted for us to see him for the good value versus what does Shareese need from you? What is the feedback that's coming from the ladies? And he didn't show up in that way.
Yep. I 100% agree that, bro. Listen, to be honest, I'll give my honest sentiments. I mean, we had him on the channel some weeks back, and I saw some behaviors and I was like, And so then obviously then to come and see it, I guess now with Shareese. Look, we spoke about Shareese at length in terms of vulnerability, but this was Samson's kerfuffle in the instance. You're being evicted. And I always say this, but when you're being evicted, this is the time not to start showing your ass, right? Because now we're going to look at you differently. And I think in that moment, he showed his ass, right? Because as soon as she said, obviously, because he knew where she was going. She was going to say, you're not ready to love, right? And whether you agree with her or not doesn't make no difference. You are not ready to love on the show. And so all you had to be would take it in your stride, take it in your chest, say, thank you, appreciate it. And maybe you can say this where you're offline. But whilst you're on camera, bro, you then going on saying, well, I should have, you know what, all the guys were right. You know, well, if all the guys were right, why were you chasing her?
Yeah, why were you sticking in it? And that's the worst thing you could do. It's like when a guy says, when he's rejected by a woman, well, I didn't want you no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's and that energy we spoke about this before. It's rejection energy. We don't like it. Yeah. We don't like it. Man or woman. We said about Trinika. Same thing with Samson. When you do that, we don't like it because it just shows that you can't take rejection at all. Yeah. And listen, rejection is part of life. Yeah. And what I'm saying, and it's often at times we're gonna judge you based on how you respond to the rejection, not the rejection itself. So now where you thought you were being right in that instance where you were like, ha, gotcha. You know, like it's like I got you, but it's like no, we got you now because now you've shown your tail. So I think with Samson there's some work to do. And also again, and he's precisely him and Trinika have given us exactly what I mean when I keep saying about nice versus good, right? Because when good meets rejection, they go, do you know what? I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it happened, but do you know what? Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Right? When you're nice, what happens is you store all the frustrations you had and you release it in the moment. And that's what Samson did in that moment. He released it all in that moment, you know? So unfortunately, Mr. Sampson was moving a bit mad there as well. You right, Jay? Oh, yes, come. Okay, cool, yeah. I'll set it up for her. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, who's bothering me? Don't ignore them. Ignore whoever they are in the comments. They're non-existent. Don't even waste your energy.
I'm gonna give it to you. To get the tickets.
Okay, guys. Alert. Red. Just fresh off the presses. If you are buying a streaming ticket tonight, you need to purchase it within the next hour because we're about to be up and out and the link has to be sent to you. So if you are looking to buy a stream ticket, please do so within the next hour because it will not be possible. Now, tickets you can continue to purchase if you are coming because we want to see you, but the stream tickets, because there's an email component, those we do need you to purchase as soon as possible. Immediately.
Expeditiously expedited. Yeah. I mean, so listen, guys, we're gonna budge now. We're gonna budge, but listen, it's been a great show. Listen, we have 555 people in the middle of the afternoon wanting to come and watch the show. That means we've got some people who enjoy Ready to Love and these kind of breakdowns. We want to see you live. Buy a streaming ticket by all means, but we want to see you guys live, okay? We want to see you in person as well. So listen, it's been a great show. Thank you, for guys and ladies, for turning up. We're going to have a really, really good show later on today. And then the rest of us we're going to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time and explore all the beautiful things that Atlanta has to offer. And
the wings.
Some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
The wings.
Women out here in Atlanta. Woo. Beautiful ladies. So.
Indeedy. Listen, make sure you grab your tickets again. Links are in the chat. They will also be at the end of the description box as well. And so make sure you grab your tickets. If you can't make it there, grab yourself a stream ticket. You got another hour or so, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
An hour. 55 minutes to be exact.
All right, guys. It's been a pleasure. Been amazing. And it's been fun having myself, Sean, Seaway, and Jay in the building. It's a special live indeed. So when you get these moments, you got to enjoy them. So honestly, like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button as well. And we will see you guys a little later. Someone said Thickums. Absolutely right. We say Seaway. You want to say something bye before you go?
See you guys tonight. I'm so excited.
The girls are excited, guys. They are prepping and ready. So anyway, guys, we'll see you again very, very soon. And we'll talk. All right. Appreciate you guys. Much love.